Hi there, and welcome to Dan's American English. Today we're going to be looking at the first chapter of James and the Giant Peach. So, here are some difficult vocabulary in this chapter. If you know these words, please feel free to skip ahead. I will be putting a timestamp in the description. So we have paddle, enormous, rhinoceros, in a jiffy, seconds flat, beast, nuisance, bear, queer, ramshackle, desolate, clump, swing, seesaw, gaze, and wistful. So to paddle means to swim by moving your hands and feet up and down. Enormous means very big. A rhinoceros is a large animal from Africa and Asia that has one or two horns on its nose. In a jiffy means very quickly, without delay. Seconds flat means in only the amount of time specified. It's used to describe an action that was done extremely quickly. A beast is an animal other than a human. A nuisance is something or someone that annoys you or causes trouble for you. Bare means not covered by anything. Queer means strange, unusual, not expected. Ramshackle means badly or messily made and likely to break or fall down easily. Desolate means empty and unattractive, having no living things. A clump is a group, especially of plants. A swing is a seat joined by two ropes or chains to a metal bar or a tree, on which you can sit and move forwards and backwards. A seesaw is a long plank for children to play on, balanced in the middle so that one end goes up as the other goes down. Gaze means to look at something or someone for a long time, especially in surprise or admiration, or because you're thinking about something else. Wistful means sad and thinking about something that is impossible or in the past. So, here we go. Chapter 1. Until he was 4 years old, James Henry Trotter had a happy life. He lived peacefully with his mother and father in a beautiful house beside the sea. There were always plenty of other children for him to play with, and there was the sandy beach for him to run about on, and the ocean to paddle in. It was the perfect life for a small boy. Then, one day, James' mother and father went to London to do some shopping, and there a terrible thing happened. Both of them suddenly got eaten up, in full daylight, mind you, and on a crowded street, by an enormous, angry rhinoceros, which had escaped from the London Zoo. Now this, as you can well imagine, was a rather nasty experience for two such gentle parents, but in the long run it was far nastier for James than it was for them. Their troubles were all over in a jiffy. They were dead and gone in 35 seconds flat. Poor James, on the other hand, was still very much alive, and all at once he found himself alone and frightened in a vast, unfriendly world. The lovely house by the seaside had to be sold immediately, and the little boy, carrying nothing but a small suitcase, containing a pair of pajamas and a toothbrush, was sent away to live with his two aunts. Their names were Aunt Sponge and Aunt Spiker, and I am sorry to say that they were both really horrible people. They were selfish and lazy and cruel, and right from the beginning they started beating poor James for almost no reason at all. They never called him by his real name, but always referred to him as "you disgusting little beast," or "you filthy nuisance," or "you miserable creature." And they certainly never gave him any toys to play with, or any picture books to look at. His room was as bare as a prison cell. They lived, Aunt Sponge, Aunt Spiker, and now James as well, in a queer ramshackle house on the top of a high hill in the south of England. The hill was so high that from almost anywhere in the garden James could look down and see for miles and miles across a marvelous landscape of woods and fields, and on a very clear day, if he looked in the right direction, he could see a tiny gray dot far away on the horizon, which was the house that he used to live in with his beloved mother and father. And just beyond that he could see the ocean itself, a long thin streak of blackish blue, like a line of ink beneath the rim of the sky. But James was never allowed to go down off the top of that hill. Neither Aunt Sponge nor Aunt Spiker could ever be bothered to take him out herself, not even for a small walk or a picnic, and he certainly wasn't permitted to go alone. "The nasty little beast will only get into mischief if he goes out of the garden," Aunt Spiker had said, and terrible punishments were promised him, such as being locked up in the cellar with the rats for a week, if he even so much as dared to climb over the fence. The garden, which covered the whole of the top of the hill, was large and desolate, and the only tree in the entire place, apart from a clump of dirty old laurel bushes at the far end, was an ancient peach tree that never gave any peaches. There was no swing, no seesaw, no sandpit, and no other children were ever invited to come up the hill to play with poor James. There wasn't so much as a dog or a cat around to keep him company, and as time went on, he became sadder and sadder, and more lonely, and he used to spend hours every day standing at the bottom of the garden, gazing wistfully at the lovely but forbidden world of woods and fields and ocean that was spread out below him like a magic carpet. So, now it's time for some comprehension questions. So, what happened to James's parents? A. They were eaten up by a rhinoceros. B. They went away on a business trip. C. They didn't want James anymore. Or D. They bought a new house and took James with them. Very good. The correct answer is A. They were eaten up by a rhinoceros. So, where was James sent to live after his parents died? A. He was able to stay in the same house as before. B. He moved to a crowded street in London. C. He was sent away to live with his two aunts. Or D. He went to go live alone in the woods. Great work. The correct answer is C. He was sent away to live with his two aunts. So did James's aunts treat him well? A. Yes, they bought him a swing, a sandpit, and a seesaw. B. Sometimes, only if James behaved very well. C. They are still working to improve their relationship. Or D. No, they called him mean names and neglected him. Awesome work. The correct answer is D. No, they called him mean names and neglected him. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping to have Chapter 2 up shortly. Please feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions for me. Remember to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you and goodbye.